This is the 7th grade lesson for the 24th of February, 2017. So, some reminders, your monthly reading assignment is due next Tuesday. It's coming up pretty quick, okay? We went over who did the giver extra credit, so you'll be receiving that shortly. All of your viewing logs are officially late if you haven't gotten them in yet, so please get them in. And then FSA writing exam is on Tuesday. That's going to be in your homeroom, okay? I'll have the schedule posted on Monday. It's 120 minutes long, and you're not allowed to do anything else but writing. Okay, so make sure you are giving me your absolute best. Now, it says I have a solution for those who work quickly. This is true. Okay, what I expect for you to do is give me your ultimate best when you're doing this kind of an assignment. So if you finish early, go back. Take a look at your sentences. Okay, see if you can't come up with a better way to phrase things, a better way to say what you're saying. Okay, especially if you finish really early. Go back and almost analyze every sentence, basically rewrite every sentence. Okay? If you finish with a few minutes to spare, okay. Go back and make sure that everything's the way it should be. Okay? And then if you still finish with extra time, give me another body paragraph. There's plenty to do. Alright? Today's agenda, we're going to go over elaboration and counterclaim. Now, elaboration, if you remember from last time we were here, okay, we were talking about evidence, okay, how evidence has to prove your point. Well, elaboration is where you show your reader why the evidence was so important, okay, as well as why it proves your point. So you can have great evidence, but unless the evidence is tied into the point, it's just random words, okay? Oh, speaking of evidence, by the way, remember there are two types. There's direct quote and then there's paraphrase. I only want you to use one direct quote on your essays on Tuesday. No more than one. Okay? Definitely use one, but only one. All right, so elaboration, you need to have 2 or 3 sentences of elaboration to prove each point of evidence or each piece of evidence. Okay? And another note, keep in mind this is what is mostly graded as it comes directly from you. Give this some time and do it properly. Okay? And then there's some examples of elaboration. Most of them, as you see in the end, they say explain, okay? Or they give you definition, a prediction, an evaluation, comparison, contrast, okay? This is different than, or this is similar to, okay? Blank is not a good enough reason to do something. Okay? All of these have to do with explanation, okay? That's what elaboration is at its core, is explanation. All right, and counterclaim. Well, so what is that? Well, a counterclaim is when you acknowledge the other side of an argument. Okay? If it's an argumentative essay, that's what they're looking for. They need a counterclaim. Okay? Well, along with a counterclaim comes the next statement, which is called a rebuttal. Okay? It's when you argue against something after acknowledging the other side. So, you acknowledge the other side of the argument. Okay? For instance, some people say, we didn't land on the moon. Alright? So maybe you say, alright, well, some may argue that we didn't land on the moon because of certain photographs and some really creative sets for movies. However, based on scientific evidence of space shuttles and interviews with astronauts, we did go. Okay? Your rebuttal, obviously I'm sure you noticed, a rather interesting word in there, right? Your rebuttal puts the but into the argument, okay? So, you're saying, yes, some may say this, but they are wrong, okay? Now, you're not going to say but in your paragraph. You're going to say however. But that's basically what a rebuttal is, okay? So let's get some practice in. I had some debate topics that we used in class, okay? And this is a way of being able to see the other side. So if you miss class, I want you to pick 5 of them, okay? Imagine the other side of the argument. So once you read all of them, you'll have your own opinions really quickly. So read all of them, pick 5 of them, and then try to think, what would the other side have said? Okay, so grades, no, I'll do school uniform should be required. Okay, so let's say, for example, you think, no, they should not be required. So your counter-argument, your counterclaim, is going to say, some may argue that schools should have uniforms because it encourages students to unify under one school, and it prevents bullying based on appearance. However, having school uniforms also takes away individuality and choice, making school life less interesting for its students. Okay? That is an example of a counterclaim with a rebuttal. Now, obviously, don't use that exact wording. If that was one you were going to pick, great, go ahead and do so. But use a different way of approaching that one if you're going to do that. Okay? Again, pick 5 of those. You're starting off with some may argue, and then counter with however. Or you could say some may say, and then you counter with however. Okay? And that concludes the lesson of the day.